Welcome to the first episode of Off the Pitch. I'm Blake Aerni. You can hear me on game day.
And I'm Marika Davis. You can see me on game days, but right now we're taking it off the pitch. Woo! Episode 1, we did it, Blake. How are you feeling today?
Here we are. I'm so excited about the show, Marika. Off the Pitch. I mean, as the name suggests, I think that this show is going to be just something where we can connect sport in Kansas City and the community here in Kansas City. Let people know what's going on in this city. Let people know the excitement that is coming up. Of course, we've got so many events coming up this summer in Kansas City. Obviously, Sporting Kansas City's season continues throughout this year all the way till the end of the season. It's going to be a really fun year, and we've got a lot going on.
I know. I am just so excited. Blake and I grew up as two Kansas City kids. We grew up knowing the city, celebrating the city. So it's so fun to have this platform where we can just riff. We can talk about what's happening. Instead of sharing it in a group chat, we can share it with all of you.
I think that's what's so exciting about this show. For those of you that are listening, that are watching on the YouTube channel, we're really excited to get things going here because this show is going to be something where we're talking, as we said, about all the things going on in Kansas City. We want you guys clued in on what's going on in Kansas City, what's going on in the world of sport in KC. We're going to be connecting you with all the people in Kansas City that make this city so special because, Marika, let's be honest, Kansas City's a pretty special city. It's one of those cities where, you hear about those East Coast cities, those West Coast cities. Kansas City is the heart of America. It's a soccer capital of America. We're going to hear from some of those people that have made this a soccer city, that have made this so special and continue to make this special, and obviously all the great things that are going on in KC.
I totally agree. You said it perfectly. I mean, especially in the past couple years, Kansas City has been growing rapidly. In the media, as a city as a whole, I feel like every day I turn, there's construction for a new building that we're going to learn about. And it's so exciting to see that all the people across America, across the world even, are really recognizing that what we have in Kansas City is unlike anything you'll find elsewhere. Yes, we have the Midwest Nice. We're going to say please and thank you everywhere we go, but we still have so many exciting experiences that not many people know about. So I'm really excited that we're going to chat about those events. We're also going to chat with people like you mentioned. We're going to get some great Sporting KC players and staff in here. We're going to talk to, big names in the Kansas City area. I'm going to have some dream celebrities to see on here.
There you go.
Surely at some point.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear from some of those SKC players, maybe that don't know how special Kansas City is. We've talked about some of the new guys that we're getting into Kansas City. We can explain to them what makes this such a special place and maybe what they've experienced and how it's been special for them.
Totally agree. And with, the FIFA World Cup coming this summer, this is such a good opportunity for people who might not know soccer as well. I'll give you the soccer 101. I didn't really know the sport that well until the past couple years. So we can teach you, we can tell you everything you need to know. So when you're hosting your own World Cup watch parties, you'll be like a pro.
Exactly. I love that. So Marika, speaking of some of the people that make this city special, I think it's time we start to get to know yourself. And I don't know that I make Kansas City special, but hopefully we can, let people know how special this city is and we can get to know each other a little bit better. Help you guys that are watching or listening to get to know us a little bit better. So as we were talking about there in the intro, I'm Blake Aerni. I am the radio play-by-play for Sporting KC. We're on Sports Radio 810 WHB. You can hear me and John Kempen on every radio broadcast as Sporting KC's playing. All the home games, you catch myself a little bit up in the stadium, and I'll be up in the broadcast booth. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. Marika, tell them a little bit about what you do and how you make Sporting Kansas City run.
Absolutely. Well, first, thanks for calling me special.
Of
I
course.
feel so honored to be here today. But my role at Sporting Kansas City is I'm our in-stadium host. That means every time you enter Sporting Park and you look up at those video boards, you're going to see a chatty blonde getting fans excited, talking about all the different promotions, theme nights, playing all the fun games like the hat shuffle that personally, like someone who may not enjoy sports as much, I always look forward to those things. In between breaks, halftime, I'm there to make sure that everyone in the building is having the best possible time. Now, Blake, you have such a rich history with knowing the sport of soccer, but
I love it.
What was your introduction to sporting? What made you want to do this one day? Where did it start?
So growing up, I was, like you said, both of us are from Kansas City. I grew up as a kid playing soccer in Kansas City. I absolutely love the sport. And of course, when you're a kid that's playing soccer in a city, you want to know what's going on in the professional world. So I remember my first introduction was when I went to a Wizards game when it was the T-Bone Stadium, Community America Ballpark, and I knew very little. I think my soccer team just went out and we went to a Wizards game at that T-Bone Stadium and just checked it out. And I remember just being so intrigued because I loved the sport so much. My parents didn't really grow up playing soccer. They didn't really know soccer very well. And so they just took us out, and I was in love with it from that point going forward. I remember Kai Kamara was the name for me that really stuck, and I just became a huge fan of him, became a huge fan of Sporting Kansas City, which at the time, obviously, it was the Wizards. Would go to games a lot then with my dad, and now my dad is a diehard soccer fan. I would like to think that that's a lot because of me. So I definitely fell in love with the game when it was at Community America Ballpark, and now, of course, they've just moved across the street. I was at that first game at Sporting Park, and I've went to plenty of games following that. My favorite, or you could say least favorite story, is I was supposed to be at that 2013 MLS Cup final when Sporting KC took down Real Salt Lake, but I missed it. I told my friend Trace, who to this day, he still tells me I was stupid for this. I told him I'd go to his birthday party, and I honored my word. I went to his birthday party, but missed that game. And I remember my sister, it was my older sister, and my mom went to the game, and they sent me plenty of pictures. I went home and watched all the highlights, or watched the whole game back. I remember I watched the shootout back, and my mom then took me out to the stadium. There were still people partying because it was early. I don't remember what time the game was, but it was earlier in the day. It was an awesome experience seeing some of those Salt Lake fans that weren't quite as happy. They gave me some words, but I was like, I don't know, 10 at the time, so I don't really remember exactly what they were saying to me, but it was a good experience. How about you?
If I was you, there would have been tears on the pillowcase that night.
Yeah.
I guess you could look at this being like you had too much integrity. You're just too good of a guy to say no to your friend's birthday party.
And to be fair, my friend Trace is getting married later this year, and he still to this day, it's crazy to think, we've already gotten to that point in our lives, and he still to this day tells me, like, dude, I would not have cared. Like,
it's also so funny that is like your just career now.
Yep, and now here I am.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, so Marika, you said you didn't get into soccer until a couple years ago. Well, you were missing out.
I know I was. So my journey really in sports and soccer, it started when I was about like 5 years old. As the rest of us, my parents probably needed some time to run errands, so they dropped me off at soccer practice. Had a lot of fun, loved the Capri Suns during halftime, loved the orange slices, it was all good. Until one day, coach wanted to put me in goal. This is where my soccer career unfortunately went south, because I remember scoring on myself, little first grade Marika.
Wow.
I was so crushed. I remember walking on the field and asking mom if I could do dance instead. So I grew up more as a dancer, and a sport I played a lot was lacrosse, actually. And something that's really interesting is lacrosse is actually my first experience out at Sporting Park and like getting to learn Sporting Kansas City, because when the stadium opened, I believe it was 2012, 2013.
2011, I think.
2011, there we go, 2012. Somewhere in that range. And that year, when the new stadium was opened, they let KCMGLA, which is like the Lacrosse Association of Kansas, play the state championship match that night. And my brother was actually one of the players on the field. So I, getting to be the little kid bopping around with the flyers for everyone, got to walk on the field, got to see the whole stadium. And I just remember seeing Sporting Park and being so incredibly amazed that over the past 10 years since, I was always nagging my parents over the summer, like, can we please go to a sporting game? Can I please go back to that stadium? Because it was such a unique and great experience. I've always had a love for sports, but soccer is, I'd rather talk about soccer. I'd rather watch soccer. You never want to see me running. Please don't make me run. But when I was going through college and everything, that's when I really discovered my love for broadcasting and sports broadcasting. I started as an in-game host at K-State. So then it was really fun when I started to graduate that it really grew into this role to Sporting KC. Now, chatting along, we chatted sporting, we chatted the whole year, but why do you love Kansas City? I mean, when we graduated, we could have gone
Marika.
Anywhere in the world. What makes you want to be in KC?
I mean, it's home. Like Kansas City, I think anyone that you meet that is from Kansas City or has moved to Kansas City and made it their home, it feels like home. It is a place where everyone wants to know how you're doing. Everyone around you is so friendly, is so nice. Of course, you hear that all the time. The Midwest nice. I went to school at Nebraska, so everyone talks about the Nebraska nice, the Midwest nice. It's a real thing. People from all over the world, or all over, the world are going to find out here soon, but people from all over the country, when they're in the Midwest, it just feels different. And it's not for everyone. I mean, I understand that, but I think I am just obsessed with, the community aspect of Kansas City and how everyone in this city has such a pride for the city. I mean, you look around, you go to the airport or you go wherever it is, and people are wearing Kansas City gear. They want to support the Chiefs. They want to support the Royals. They want to support Sporting Kansas City, the Current. It's just everyone has so much civic pride here, more than any city that I've been to.
It was so eye-opening. One of my first times traveling when you're a little kid, like leaving Kansas City, I go around places and I wouldn't know what teams played in that state because like I never saw the branding. I never saw people wearing the jerseys. But like here, every time I'm at the grocery store, when I'm heading to work, like we have such a pride for this town. And we talk about the people. Obviously, if you know KC, we could talk about it forever and ever. But something that I really love about Kansas City is that it has everything that a big city wants and needs to offer without the majority of the cons. You know, like you go to New York, Chicago, Dallas even. Yes, is there a ton to do? Sure. But there's so many traffic. It's so much more expensive. It's hard to get around. You know, if you're lost, you're just kind of out of luck. Where you're in KC, you know, I was in a coffee shop Messenger the other day. Someone bumped into me from England who just was here for the first time, didn't know where to go. I sent them a whole itinerary. I gave them directions. You know, when they were later on, I was like, man, like, what's your socials? I want you to text me what you ordered. Like, that is just the experience you're going to get in KC that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Absolutely. It's such a special place. Nate Bucati, a guy who I'm sure many Sporting KC fans, people around SKC know, was a longtime voice of Sporting Kansas City. He always says people in Kansas City dress like they're tourists of this place.
Absolutely.
Wherever they go, they dress
That's
like
perfect.
they're tourists of Kansas City. And I that has always stuck with me. He loves this city. And I think both of us love this city just as much. So, Marika, speaking of Kansas City, a segment that we're going to have on this show pretty regularly is going to be the KC kickoff.
Yep.
Pretty excited about that. So we just, as we said here on Off the Pitch, we want to keep you guys in touch with what's going on in Kansas City. There's so many fun things to do, so much excitement, as you said. Other cities have different things. Kansas City has a lot of, I would say, a great music scene. There's a lot of good art scene. I was just listening actually to Nate Bucati talking on a podcast with Graham Zusi, how he was so excited when he came to Kansas City to realize how cool the art scene was.
Yeah.
Of course, the sports in Kansas City are great. So we want to keep you guys in touch with all the things that are going on in Kansas City. So the KC kickoff it is.
Yep. I'll start it off. I'll
Let's do
tell
it.
you what I brought to the table. I am a big like pop culture person too. So we also need to keep in mind moving forward whenever there's a celebrity sighting, Marika's on it.
That's
I
who we
know
need to
what's
talk to.
going
Okay.
on. What I'm bringing to the table today is a little update on the music scene in Kansas
Okay.
City. Lately, we've had a lot of fun and exciting things going on. So I'll do a little past, present, and future. So people listening know what's happened, but they can also catch what's going to happen in the future, right? So wrapping up soon. It's already wrapped by the time this airs. Hamilton was in Kansas City and it just left. Now, one thing about me, I am unfortunately a big musical theater person.
I don't say unfortunately. I think the people out there could say they should know that about me as well. I was in musicals. I was
That's
actually,
true.
This is my fun fact of myself. I was Troy Bolton once.
Of course you were. Of course
And
you
now
were.
I'm living that out. I get to perform and do sports. So
There's definitely a pipeline between people who did theater or choir or something arts related in school to like work in sports professionally.
100%.
So many people that we chat with like either did choir, dance, theater. I think it's definitely like the showmanship. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But anyway, getting back to Kansas City, I grew up a huge fan of musical theater. And if you know anything about musicals, or if you don't, Hamilton is truly the show to see. If you can't stand musicals, that's the one. That's like the gateway.
Yep.
You know, and especially with this year, you know, anniversary of America.
Yes, it is.
So fun to have
250th.
this show coming to town.
That is actually that's perfect.
I know. I'm going on closing night, so I haven't seen it just yet. I am so incredibly excited. I think I'm going to be the biggest geek in the area, but
I love that.
We're going to love it. Okay. Other musical update for you is that recently Megan Maroney did a pop-up show in Kansas City. Are you a country fan, pop fan?
So I know Megan Maroney. I don't know if I could name a single song by Megan
okay.
Maroney. Country is one of those things where if I'm on a lake, I'll listen to country.
Ozarks.
If it's the middle of summer and I have my windows down, I will listen to country. Outside of that, you probably aren't going to catch Blake listening to country.
Okay,
no.
well, I mean, I did go to Kansas State, so I feel
Yeah.
like that's where I really grew my love for country. Megan Maroney's good because she's like a mix of country and pop, so
But she was in
it's a little in
town?
between. Yes, so she was in town. What happened is she announced 9 days, 9 pop-up shows across the country.
Oh, wow.
And Kansas City was one of those locations. No surprise to us.
How
Are you
early
kidding
did
me?
she tell people?
She let people know like very recently. There was not
Okay,
much
so this
time
was-
to let.
wow.
Because she just dropped an album called Cloud 9 recently.
Okay.
And this is like the way that she was, you know, showcasing the album. She did these $9 pop-up shows. That's right. $9 a ticket.
That's nuts.
But the deal was you had to line up in line to
Okay.
get first access. Like you
So
couldn't
first
just
come,
buy it in
first serve.
line. It kind of felt like Black Friday, you know, in the early 2000s. There were people camped out on the side of the street, and they were able to start camping, I think, like at 6 p.m. the night before. So people like brought tents, spent the night. If you left line, you couldn't get back in line. Like, it was a very serious to do. But I mean, what a fun experience. And she did a full acoustic set, debuting the new album. So you got like a really good taste of what's to come. I will say, I know she's coming back in concert again this fall. So if you missed it out this time, no worries. She'll be back again soon. Maybe we should go.
You know, Marika, I think I would. I don't go to enough concerts. I need to go to more concerts.
That.
I love live music. I think country's one that I struggle to get to go to. I've been to a couple country concerts. Megan Maroney, I could get down to it.
We'll make you a fan. We'll show you the good music scene over here. Now, there's another big thing happening in Kansas City right now.
I think it's probably one of the biggest things that you could be talking about going on in Kansas City right now, and that is the World Cup is going to be coming to Kansas City this summer. One of the big talking points as of late has been all of the teams that want to choose Kansas City as their base camp. And as a Kansas City guy myself, I have to say this is no surprise to me that people want to come to Kansas City. Of course, it's a central market, a place that's easy to get to. We saw England, the Netherlands, Algeria, and who's the last team that I'm blanking on that's also
Argentina?
coming to Kansas City? Argentina. Yeah, they're going to be the biggest team in the World Cup that is going to be coming to Kansas City. I mean, that's just speaks volumes to what this city does.
Absolutely.
Not only is it a great place for players to be because they, it's not as many distractions, you can focus a lot more on the soccer, but it's also a place that really cares about the way that people are taken care of. And so they come into, Compass Minerals National Performance Center, Sporting KC has. They go into Swope Park. They go into the KC Currents training facility. Over in Lawrence, they go to Rock Chalk Park, and they see how much this place cares about them being taken care of and them making sure that they have the best facility and the best service so that they can make sure they're focused 100% on the game that's going on. And I'm just so excited to see how much the city explodes this summer.
Absolutely. Believe it or not, as of March 3rd, we're 100 days out.
That's what I was going to say.
So
I'm
many
excited
people
for that.
have been working on this like us for years.
Yep.
So the fact that it's only 100 days away feels unbelievable. Something that I have to mention, please listeners, listen up, because this is the one thing I could say about World Cup. As we know, England will be here in one of our base camps. And as we know, we're Midwest nice. We're going to treat them so incredibly well.
Of course we are.
But they may be over here during the 4th of July.
I see where you're going with this.
On the anniversary of the country. Guys, what are we doing? Are we throwing tea into the Missouri River? Like, we need to plan something. We're going to be super nice. Don't get me wrong. Don't be scared if you're from England.
The Kansas City Tea Party.
We have to do something.
We can call it the Kansas City Tea Party. I like that. Throw it into the Missouri.
I was going to say, if you guys are interested, please let me know. I will
You might have
absolutely
to start
set
a group
something
chat,
up.
Marika.
Reddit lines will be running.
The Reddit,
I'm
okay.
sure.
check Marika's Reddit. You can see what's going on about the England coming to Kansas City. The 250th anniversary. I know all the teams are wearing that patch in Major League Soccer with the 250 because it's the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The 4th of July is going to be a big day.
Very excited for it.
In the United States when England is going to be in town here in Kansas City.
I was going to go to the lake, but no, I got to be here. You got to be here for seeing everything happening in KC. Now, another big thing happening up in Kansas City right now, Big 12 tournament. This is like my Super Bowl. I love when we hit March Madness season. I go crazy in my bracketology. I do all the research I can, but that's not what we're going to focus on today. Something that I wanted to bring up is the court. Have you seen it yet, Blake?
Yes. So I love this time of year. You talk about March, you talk about the Big 12 tournament coming to town. I feel like Kansas City's such a good host for stuff like that because there is a lot of excitement down at the Power and Light District, the T-Mobile Center. It's just such a great venue. But this court has caused a lot of controversy online. And I'm going to be honest, Marika, I'm not sure that I love it.
I'm a little nervous. So if you don't know, they installed like a glass court, but it has technology, so it's constantly changing the logo that's on the court.
Yep.
I'm nervous it's going to be distracting for players.
Well,
I'm imagining they're going to keep it still during games, but like a little too much change. Also, another thing I'm going to throw out. I don't know if they thought about this. I hope they have. What if someone goes up for a layup, gets fouled, and hits the ground really hard? Could glass shatter?
There's no way it's that type of glass. You got to think that it's some sort of glass. There's enough people that do work with that technology that they figured it out. I'm more worried, long term, if this were to become a thing, are there going to be studies about how this affects players' joints? It could be better.
I didn't even think about that.
I feel like I might be going a little crazy here, but I feel like wood, it's natural. It's got to be better for your joints. Got to be better for performance for players. I mean, surely there's some sports scientists working on that somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I guess they're probably figuring that out. They probably know better than I do, other than me that's just sitting here thinking that I know better. So I think that'll be exciting to see what's going on there.
Now, have you seen the new Space Jam that came out a couple years ago? And it was
the one with
super,
LeBron?
Yeah, the one with
Of
LeBron.
course.
It was like super techy. That might be the future of basketball.
So who are the Monstars then? Is that K-State?
Ooh, definitely not K-State. Blake, we're not going to go there.
Well, Marika, there is the KC kickoff. That's what's going on in KC.
Moving along from the KC kickoff, we just talked basketball, but I really want to get into our next segment, which we're going to be doing power rankings of whatever we talked about that day.
Okay.
Today, I want to ask, what are the top places to watch sports?
So are we talking,
Get creative
we
here.
both come up with our own rankings, or are we drafting this?
I think we're doing a little bit of draft segment.
Okay.
I'll have my 1 through 5, but hopefully you don't take them. Maybe we will. We'll go back and forth.
Okay.
Since I'm feeling really nice, I'll let you go first.
So will I pick, and then are we doing snake draft here? I feel like we have to do snake draft.
Yeah, we can.
It's
snake
only
draft.
fair.
I like that.
Well, if we're going for best places, best places to watch a sporting event, I feel like I always come back to this. Maybe this is me getting old, but I always come back to this at home. Like being at home, whether you're with your friends, hanging out. I feel like a lot of times the experience of watching a sport, of course, my job is always being at the game. So maybe I've like almost become so accustomed to it.
Right, you're too
I
used to
like
it.
the time, on a football Sunday, I can sit back, or on March Madness, I can sit back and just watch from home. So 1-1, I'm going at home.
I like that. Okay, following up, and you're going to find this one crazy.
Okay.
My number 1 pick, going to the event in person.
Yeah,
There's nothing like hearing the screams of the fans, seeing the fireworks, seeing the light shows.
Yeah.
It
Sporting
gets
Park
the heart
is incredible.
pounding. I know. The other day, Blake and I got to do a run through at the stadium to see everything that's happening on the video boards.
Yep.
There were tears down my eyes. It was the most beautiful sight I've ever seen.
I can attest. It was crazy.
Not to be dramatic.
Not
though.
that you haven't done this before. It's crazy. It's your third year, and you're still having tears come down.
Still get the butterflies. All right, so my next pick.
Okay.
Kind of similar to your first one, but I think we can be a little different here. My second overall pick is that friend who has the decked out basement. The family friend, your
like a
classmate.
man cave type thing?
Kind of like a man cave, but I picture this. You go down to the basement, there's multiple TVs, or it's like the split screen, so we can see all the different games going on. Everyone's bringing an appetizer. Everyone's bringing their favorite drink. You're wearing your sweats and your favorite team's t-shirt. You're comfy. It's kind of like the home.
Yep.
But you have the socialization with it too.
Okay.
And the decked out basement. I mean, that's awesome.
Fair enough. Okay. I feel like a friend's house is always good, but Marika, I'm going a bit of a different direction with this one.
Yeah.
And I'm going at a patio on a bar. Like at a bar on a patio.
That's
You get some
good.
apps. I think of if I can have nachos and some sort of drink, whatever it may be, I am having the best time of my life. I will say there's a caveat. If the audio of the game is not being played out loud, kills the vibe.
That's a big risk.
But if the audio is playing, I mean, we're talking that is up there with being at the game, in my opinion.
I agree. Do you have any like patio sports bar vibes you like in KC?
I think of like John's Big Deck in Kansas City,
that's
or like
classic.
Brooks Cider is a great
Yep,
spot. Those are some of my
yep.
favorite spots in Kansas City. So Kansas City people, those are the places to go.
Okay.
But third overall, I had to kind of think about this one. This is going to be a little bit of a rogue one here,
Okay.
but I'm going to say at the gym. And this
The
is a crazy
gym?
one, but the amount of times that I've been at the gym when there is sports going on, it is a great experience. This is for the games
What
you don't
are you
really care about.
talking
This is for the
about?
games you don't
Okay.
really care about. This is Thursday night football.
Not on my list.
2 of your teams aren't playing. MLS is going on in the evening. Sporting's already played.
Okay.
This is, you go out, you feel productive. You're not sitting around just eating and wasting your time. I think the gym is slept on.
Yeah, I will agree. It's slept
Hey,
on, and
I
probably
should have
for good
waited
reason.
to pick that one later.
Yeah, that could have been pick number 5, but that's okay because this made this easier for me. My next pick for slot number 3, I'm saying like the college town hype bar arena.
Okay.
Like in Kansas City, I'd probably call this like a Beckett's, Power and Light. The con is it might be a little crowded. That's the risk. But if you're in like a college town, so what KU will say like the Wheel, K-State will say Yard Bar,
Fair.
Mizzou like Willie's would be good. What's the Nebraska one?
In Nebraska, I feel like there's a number of spots. I was always covering the
too
games. I
many.
was never at the bar.
Right, he's
so.
working.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I was working.
But being in that hype bar atmosphere, high risk, high reward. It's fun, but if it doesn't end well, it's like that awkward silence when everyone leaves. But
All right.
I think that's the good pick. Moving on next. Now this one might get people. I need you to close your eyes and vision with me here. You're in 10th grade. You're in history class, let's say American history.
Yep.
You're in like the second to back row. The teacher is the head basketball coach, maybe track coach. I'm not being too specific here. And you have like the hidden device. Like you have that laptop pulled up. Like you have one game up, your friend has another game up. You're like elbowing each other in between, the teacher's lecture. Hey, what's that score? Hey, what's that score? And bonus points if you had the super cool teacher who just would do class as quickly as possible. So then the last 20 minutes of class, like you could just sit and watch the game. You're working on a group project. No, you're not.
Well, my fourth and fifth, I really had to think about this. I think, you've taken some good. I guess I didn't necessarily know how much, leniency we're going to have there.
Okay.
I said at patio at a sports bar. I thought maybe, sports bar was taken.
No,
but you know what?
You can
I'm going to go with one that I love, and this is also slept on. I feel like these are my sports experiences because I'm always working on Saturday nights. So, I don't get the normal sports experience maybe. A Champions League game or any game like March Madness Thursday, Friday, where you're watching at the office or you're watching with people
even at
where
our
you're maybe
stadium,
not supposed to be
cool.
watching. It's kind of fun to get the experience of watching the game. A bunch of people around you know what's going on. It's on your screen. And I think that it's like back in school, I used to do that. You'd be in class and you weren't supposed to be watching, but I'd maybe put it on. I know you said that when you were younger, but I'm going to say at the office,
Well, that counts.
Yeah.
I mean, just to shout out Sporting KC's office, the Winter Olympics, they were on every screen. In between meetings, it was just like, hey, how did Alyssa Liu do?
Because then you learn who knows ball and who doesn't know ball and who's exciting.
Natural selection of who knows
exactly.
what.
It's exciting to figure out who in the office knows the sports that you care about. You make friends pretty quickly.
That. Okay. What's
now I
the
gotta
last
think.
pick?
With my last pick, I'm taking. I know we said sports bar, but we kind of finagled with what we're doing there. I'm going sports bar in the morning, like a Premier League morning.
Yep.
Games going on at 8, 9 a.m. You can have a drink, hang out with all the people. The Belfry in Kansas City is where I go. I'm a Chelsea fan.
I like that.
So the Belfry in Kansas City is the place to be.
I'm even saying when it was Team USA, like men's hockey, when they played, it was like at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. Like
there's a certain vibe.
There's something different about being in the morning.
Early morning games are special.
It's a little degenerate, but in a fun way. I like that.
You can get away with it.
Okay, my last pick. It's like my fourth one. You're gonna have to stick with me here. An airport bar. You're in between flights. You're sitting at the bar. You're just making new best friends from people all across the world. You're never going to see them again. So you can just say whatever opinions you have.
Yep.
Maybe have a brew if you're feeling crazy. Only risk you might miss your flight. That's the only thing you have to keep an eye out for.
But I will say that hits when you're in the airport. It's special.
It's different.
I
There's
think,
something about it.
Yeah, I can think of a number of football games that I've watched in an airport. I remember them. It's like a core memory for me. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
It's a nice experience. So there you go. That's a great draft, Marika.
You'll have to let us know how we did, guys.
Yeah, who has the
won.
better selection here? I think I won. I know that it's unique to me with the gym and with
the gym thing. I think it's gonna hurt you.
Okay,
it's gonna hurt you. But I mean, we had such a great episode here today, Blake. We did it.
This has been great. I feel like this is what we were just talking about there shows how sports just bring so many people together. That's what the most fun experiences are, is when we're bringing everyone together and we're all getting to experience that moment together. And I think that's what the goal is to talk about here on Off the Pitch, is bring more people around this club, more people who are, lovers of Kansas City, people that just love this city, and talk about what makes it so special and where we see it going and what their experience has been here in KC.
I'm with you. I mean, stay tuned. There's so much we're going to be doing this year. So many amazing people we're going to bring in. All the crazy events that are happening in 2026. You're going to want to hear it straight from us because we'll give you the downtown scoop.
Yeah, if you haven't already, go ahead and follow Sporting KC. It's at Sporting KC everywhere on socials. You can catch me at Blake Aerni on Twitter, at Blake.Aerni on Instagram. I'll be posting there, letting you guys know what's going on more in the weeds with Sporting KC as the day-to-day coverage continues.
Now, I'm more on the Kansas City side. You can follow me anywhere at Marika Davis _, and I'll be giving you the KC scoop of what's going on.
Well, Marika, it was such a fun episode. What do you think?
I think we did a great job. Make sure you check out Sporting's next game on March 7th. But until then, thanks for joining us.
Off the pitch.